And good early morning to everyone in the East Coast. My name is Magnus, and I'm a rocket chaser for the West Coast for TLP. And we are just about 20 minutes away from yet another Starlink launch. Um, this is this launch of Starlink 10-51, which will be carrying 29 Starlink satellites to a low Earth orbit. Um, as always, let's take a look at start off by taking a look at today's trajectory. Now, like all the other Starlink Group 10 missions, this will be flying to the northeast. The booster will fly at a northeast trajectory, and it will land just off the coast of North and South Carolina. So, if you are watching from the Carolinas or on the East Coast, there is a pretty big chance that you'll be able to see this mission. This is the first launch from Pad 39A in quite a while. The last launch of 39A was down in back in September. So good to see 39A back at it again. The booster flying today's mission is going to be Booster 1069. Booster 1069 will be flying for its 28th time today. And there's been 65 days since its last flight. Some notable flights is CRS 24 for SpaceX, Hotbird 13F, OneWeb 15, SES 18 and 19, and 23 Starlink missions. As always, feel free to drop some questions in the chat and we'll answer them as we go. We are at just about T minus 17 minutes from launch. All right, being at T minus 17 minutes, the next event on the list will be the stage two LOX load, which will happen at T minus 16 minutes. Following that, Falcon 9 will begin its chill at T minus 17 minutes. So, in just about 30 seconds from now, stage two should begin its LOX load. Something notable for Falcon 9 compared to other vehicles is the propellant load durations. Falcon 9 starts its propellant load at just around T minus 40 minutes, versus other rockets starting their propellant loads many hours prior to launch. The reason for this is the entire propelling loading process and what's required for a launch. Falcon 9 uses super chilled propellants. So instead of using room temperature kerosene, the kerosene is chilled. This allows the kerosene to have a higher density, allowing more fuel to be stored in a smaller area. This allows for faster fueling times. The only downside is that you're not able to hold the same way you are with certain other rockets. Falcon 9 has a very short hold time, if any. Starship, on the other hand, being 9 meters in diameter, does not boil off at the same rate as Falcon. Therefore, Starship is able to hold for longer periods of time. As you might have realized yesterday, there was a scrub due to the weather. Now, we were approaching the end of the window there. There was only about 10 or 20 minutes or so left there in the count. So weather may or may not have opened up, but Once you start prop load on Falcon, there's no chance of a recycle without unloading the loading the vehicle for propellant and reloading it again. Now, if you take a look at your right hand of your screen, you can see that the weather is looking a little bit better. There isn't a lot of precipitation, at least in the flight strategy that I'm aware of. So weather doesn't look like it should be an issue for this flight. Following its launch, Booster 1069 will be landing on a short fall of Gravitas, a drone ship positioned just around 300 miles downrange uh, to the east of the Carolinas. Following landing on the drone ship will start its journey, which is about 1 to 2 days back to Port Canaveral, where Booster 1069 will be unloaded and sent for refurbishment. Following its refurbishment process, we can expect a launch in merely 60 days from now. The Florida team has a significant amount of boosters, which is why they cycle the boosters approximately every 60 days. Unlike the Vandenberg team, there is a lot less boosters. There's a lot more boosters. Vandenberg team is only playing around with about half the amount of boosters, which is why they have to resolve to resolve to faster refurbishment times. At this point in time, we are just about T minus 13 minutes away from launch of 29 Starlink satellites adding on to that Group 10 constellation. As I may have mentioned earlier, this will be launched to the 53-degree inclination, and that orbital plane of Starlinks is between 200 and 300 kilometers in altitude. That's that initial orbit that Falcon 9, the second stage, will place those Starlink satellites into. Now, following deployment of the satellites, they will start their orbit boosting burns using the electric propulsion system on every single Starlink satellite. This propulsion system allows for a very precise orbital maneuvering, which means that they'll start raising their orbits, and in the event that there is some debris or is a conflict in that orbit, these Starlink satellites are able to adjust their orbit at any given time. To those who are positioned in Florida and Carolina, you may very well have a good chance of seeing the rocket following during its flight path. It does appear that parts of Jacksonville and Savannah in Georgia are unfortunately going to be clouded in, but there's a chance that the people on the coast of South Carolina and Daytona Beach area will be able to see this launch. Apart from that, weather does appear good. There is some wind in the recovery zone, which might cause a little bit of issues. But apart from that, this is nothing official and it is just merely speculation on our end. But we are still tracking a launch in just about 10 minutes from now. Up next, in just about 3 minutes from now, Falcon 9 will begin its engine chill. During the engine chill, the Merlin engines are cycled with a small amount of liquid oxygen in order to cool down the main combustion chamber and all of the piping necessary for the engines. This is not this is done in a small quantity in order to not overwhelm and cause a big thermal difference caused by those high quantities of fuel, which will be sent through all that piping in just about 10 minutes from now. The Merlin engines consume an insane amount of fuel, and within 2 minutes, Falcon 9 will have consumed a million tons, sorry, a couple million pounds of propellant. Just clarifying that number, after double checking, Falcon 9 is going to consume about 500 metric tons of propellant, which is only a mere fraction compared to Super Heavy. The first stage will be consuming just around 400,000 kilograms of liquid oxygen and about 100,000 kilograms of RP1. Sorry, for these, excuse me. The first stage will be consuming 400,000 pounds of fuel and oxygen for the first stage and just about 400,000 kilograms, just about 100,000 kilograms of liquid oxygen in RP1 for the second stage. Some mix up in the numbers there. Just about 10 seconds away from that engine chill. As we mentioned, that means a small amount of liquid oxygen will be sent through those fuel turbines in order to get that temperature ready for the fuel to start flowing in just about 7 minutes from now. Today's mission marks the 561 launch of Falcon 9, the 143rd mission of 2025, and the 588th mission for SpaceX overall. This is also the 262nd orbital launch attempt of 2025. Propellant load is nearly complete with just around 3 minutes left until that propellant load is until Falcon 9 is fully fueled.
Tracked.
At this time, the strong back will start to slowly retract a couple degrees prior to liftoff. This allows the strong back to be in it's be in a prepared location, um, so that it doesn't have to retract that full way
Strong
during
back
the
retract
liftoff
has
sequence.
started.
And there's that call out, as you should see on your screen. The strong back should start retracting just a couple degrees. Now, unlike Vandenberg launches, the strong back at both Launch Complex 39A and Launch Complex 40 are designed to retract fully at liftoff. The Vandenberg strongback is of a older design, meaning it fully retracts at the between T minus 3 minutes and 4 minutes, compared to the strongback at Launch Complex 39A and Launch Complex 40, which are only retracting a couple degrees now and will retract fully during launch. And there you can see the
Stage 1
strongback
LOX
is
load
slowly
is
moving.
complete.
And there's that call out. Stage 1 has been fully fueled with liquid oxygen. In just 30 seconds from now, stage 2 LOX load will complete. As you can see, there's a little bit of venting on screen, but that will happen at approximately the 2-minute and 10-second mark. Awaiting that call out
Stage
for
2 LOX load is complete.
And there you have it. With stage 2, LOX load has just completed. With that, Falcon 9 is fueled with nearly 500 tons of both liquid oxygen and RP1. Now, quite a few things are about to happen now. The stage 1 will start to pressurize at just about 1 minute, so we'll start seeing some venting in those lines. It will also enter startup just about 30 seconds from now, and the launch
Ground
director
gas closeout.
and there you see that venting. They're venting now all the remaining propellant from those lines so that when Falcon 9 ignites, it doesn't ignite any remaining fuel that's found in the strong back. So you can see some liquid oxygen venting from those ground systems right now. Just about 10 seconds from entering startup.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
With that, Falcon 9's onboard computers have taken control of the vehicle, and Falcon 9 is on internal power.
LD, go for launch.
And there's that call out. The launch director has just verified that we are go for launch in just about 30 seconds from now.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Okay, just around 20 seconds from now, the engines will ignite. You should be able to see a little bit of a green flash due to the T-tab used in the ignition sequence. So we're standing by for that in just around 10 seconds
T-minus
from now.
15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff. Go SpaceX, go Starlink.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
And liftoff of the 43rd mission, Falcon 9 mission of 2025. Up next, just 1 minute from now, will be max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure. This is when the stress on the vehicle is at its highest because the ratio of speed to air density is at its highest. As Falcon 9 raises, its speed increases and the air pressure.
Nominal.
There's a call out. Air power and telemetry is nominal. Just around 20 seconds away from that call out for max Q.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
And Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Max Q.
There's that call out for max Q. At this time, Falcon 9 will keep accelerating, though the air pressure surrounding the vehicle will start slowing down. So if this was a daytime launch, you would have been able to see a little bit of a contrail as it passes through that mark. At this point in time, Falcon 9 has about 1 minute left of flight before it shuts
back,
off
Joe.
shuts down those 9 Merlin engines and prepares for landing on on a shortfall of gravitas. And as you heard, there was a call out for the vacuum engine on the second stage engine chill. Since it's just one engine, they don't need to chill it with as much liquid oxygen, and they can do it in a shorter period of time. Just around 20 seconds from Miko.
Main engine cut off.
Stage separation confirmed.
There is views of stage separation
MVAC startup.
and MVAC startup. Fairing separation should occur just around now. Waiting that call out.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And there's fairing separation, and you can see all the individual lights, which are new additions to Starlink satellites. They light up so you can identify every single satellite. At this point in time, the next event is entry burn, which will happen just around 3 minutes from now. Falcon 9 has currently deployed its grid fins, which will be used for maneuvering once it enters the atmosphere. But at this point, it's using its nitrogen cold gas thrusters to basically flip itself.
Both stages are on a nominal trajectory.
As you heard that call out, both stages are on their nominal trajectories, which means that the range is green. You can actually see in the left-hand part of your screen, you can see some of that thunder, some of that lightning from the stage 1 cam. That means stage 1 is just about halfway to that point, just east of South Carolina. At this point, Falcon 9 is just about east of Georgia, and it's past that cloud. It's past the portions of that shaky weather. At this point, there is just about 1 minute until
Both
stage
stages
1.
continue to follow a nominal trajectory.
Good call out there. There is just about 1 minute until that entry burn begins. Now, at this point in time, Falcon 9 is traveling at about 2 kilometers per second, which is really fast. Now, in order to not burn up, Falcon 9 has to start those engines, which act as a heat shield, um, and will slow it down just enough so that those G forces don't get too high and the vehicle starts breaking up. Um, the majority of the deceleration will simply be done by the atmosphere. Falcon 9 doesn't have any speed brakes, but those grid fins help it glide. Falcon 9 will be performing a little bit of a glide maneuver, not as much as Super Heavy, but
Stage
it will
1
definitely be.
FTS has saved.
And since Falcon 9 is in a good trajectory, that FTS can be saved, even if the entry burn fails.
Stage
or one
1
of these.
entry burn startup.
And good call up for entry burn. As you can see, we don't have the velocity on screen, but it is slowing down just enough so that it doesn't break apart.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And there's that call out for entry burn shutdown. At this point in time, Falcon 9 will continue to coast down to a landing on a short fall of gravitas. Just around 50 seconds until that landing burn. As you can see, this Falcon 9 is rapidly decelerating at just around 500 meters per second right now. Okay, just
Stage 1
around
transonic.
250 meters per second, and landing bird will begin in just around 20 seconds from now.
Stage 1 landing burn.
And landing burn startup.
Stage 2
At
is
this
in
point,
terminal guidance.
At this point in time, Falcon 9 will reorient itself so that it can land on a short fall of gravitas. Beautiful
Landing
views
deployed.
coming in there. And a nice landing with that.
Stage 1
B-28
landing
has
confirmed.
landed for its 28th time.
Stage 2
Sorry,
FTS has saved.
B-1069 has landed for its 20th time. With that, stage 2 is on a nominal trajectory and its FTS can be saved. There's only a couple seconds until stage 2 engine shutdown.
MVAC shutdown.
And there's that call out for MVAC shutdown.
Nominal park orbit insertion.
And with that, Falcon 9 is a nominal orbit. Just around 40 minutes from now, it will perform one extra 2-second burn before deploying the Starlink satellites. Now, unfortunately, SpaceX does not show deployment views anywhere, so we're going to start wrapping up our webcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. Be sure to join us for New Glenn tomorrow in just about 12 hours from now, and we're looking out for some good times here ahead. Unfortunately, we have FAA has put a temporary restriction on launch vehicles, but be advised there will not be too much of a slowdown. Space is going to continue here, and with that, like the Launchpad would like to thank you for joining us today. Be sure to join us again soon because space is better together And good morning to those in Florida, and good night to those on the West Coast.